You boss.
Okay, thank you, Rick. As I said earlier, my name's Joe Holonich. You guys probably got a ton of emails from me. I'm the training coordinator. I am a senior umpire with the group. And I'm here to talk about some fundamentals of mechanics. Rick's going to talk the details of base and plate responsibilities, but I'm going to talk some general philosophy on the mechanics. Why are mechanics important? Well, if I don't know what you're doing, I don't know what to do. Our mechanic is if there's nobody on base and you're starting on the A position, which I'll discuss in a minute, you take the runner to third base. I've had umpires come up and say, I've got third, I've got third. Well, now, if you've got third, what do? Do I stay at second? Do I now cover home? What's my responsibility? Because now I don't know what to do because you're doing something different. So our mechanics are, we need to know what we're doing so that we can respond to what our partner is doing. Oops, I'm sorry. This thing's on a timer and I don't know how to get it off. It gives us an optimum movement to complement our partner. So if we have a runner on first and I'm on the bases, I know I take the runner to second. I release her to second. I don't worry about the batter runner because I know the plate umpire's got her. I then watch her after I release the runner at second. I know the plate umpire's then going to pick her up at second. I know those movements because we're all doing it together. We're all doing the same mechanics. It's a repeatable process. Whether I'm working with Sam, or whether I'm working with Dan, or whether I'm working with Rick, we're all doing the same thing. And so I know what you're going to do because we're all doing the same thing. It gives us a great starting position and it gives us the movement for the best opportunity to judge the play. General rule, angle over distance. If you can't get close to the play, get to the best angle you can. Think about a football game when they throw the red flag. Think how many camera angles they look at to try to see the play. If you can get a better angle, it's worth doing instead of trying to get the distance. Most importantly, why are mechanics important? Because these professional umpires are at the same base making two different calls. So who do I appeal to? Well, if I'm the base runner, I'm appealing to the guy on the left. If I'm the catcher, I'm appealing to the guy on the right? By the looks of these uniforms, I haven't seen umpires in those uniforms for about 50 years. That's probably a 1970s ball game. But the fact is, see, this thing is on a timer. I don't know what to do. But the fact is, we don't want to end up in that situation, although we will. I've had it happen. Okay? Why are mechanics important? Well, there was an article back in December 23 in Referee Magazine. 7 things to take you from good to great. Number 3, use the right mechanics. Use the right mechanics. All right? So some general things. Work as a team, as John said. Arrive at least 30 minutes prior to game time. I get there an hour before game time. Rick, I swear, camps out because he's there, no matter what time I get there, Rick's there, all right? Discuss the particulars to ensure alignment. Hey, you're on the bases, point for me for an infield fly because sometimes that depth perception on a fly ball, you can't tell if it's in the infield or it's going to the outfield types of things. Walk to the field as a team. There are 3 teams on that field, the home, the visitors, and the umpires, all right? Be on the field 15 minutes before the scheduled start time or the actual start time. One of the things I was taught when I started doing tournament ball in 2012 was you get to the field about 15 minutes before the scheduled game starts because the game could end on a mercy and you can start the next game. These people who are here, the UIC and the tournament director, they come there, they get there at 7:30 in the morning and they may be there till 8 o'clock at night. So you're responsible for keeping the games moving. A lot of people show up 8:45 for a 9 o'clock game. I'm on the field at 8:45 asking the coaches, are you ready to start? All right? Begin the pregame conference 5 minutes before the game time, whether it's the scheduled or whether it's the actual. Call the coaches together. Coaches, captains, and we'll talk about the pregame here in a couple of weeks. And protect your partner by only allowing one coach to talk to your partner. I didn't happen in the U-Trip game, but I had a high school game over in Montgomery County. I awarded a girl home on an obstruction, and both coaches come running out of the dugout. And my plate partner turns his back, and he goes back, and he stands at the plate, and he lets these 2 coaches out there with me. You want to go out there and say, Coach, just one, just the head coach, all right? Just the head coach, no assistant coach out there. Protect your partner, okay? Some fundamentals. Set the tone with everything you do. If I'm on the bases and I'm out leaning against the dugout like this, what's the tone I'm setting? I'm lazy and not engaged in this thing. If I'm in the right position between the bases, between innings, and I'm standing like this and I'm on the field, what's the tone I'm setting? I'm engaged and I'm watching this thing. If I have the mask on top of my head and I'm kind of doing this back behind home plate, what's the tone I'm setting? Everything you do sets a tone in that game. You don't have to be belligerent, but set the tone that this is my game, I control this game, all right? I read a book, 101 Things to Be a Better Umpire. It says never walk between the lines. If you're in the C position and now you got to go back to A, don't walk. Even trot. Remember, these kids are on a clock. If it takes you a minute to walk across the field, you're eating their game time. If it takes you 20 seconds to trot across the field, you're giving them more play time, all right? Only wear your mask when you're calling pitches. Don't be running down the first baseline wearing your mask. Don't be talking, especially don't be talking to a coach when you're wearing your mask. Give them the courtesy of taking the mask off with your left hand. If you've never umpired, go home, put on your mask, and 10 times a night for the next 10 weeks, take off that mask with that left hand. You don't want that mask in the right hand and punching out and clock somebody in the head with that mask. You want it in the left hand. Nothing's in your right hand. The indicator's in your left hand, the mask is in your left hand, all right? 2 umpires should not walk at the same time. The plate umpire should stand, watch the base umpire get to the proper position so that then that base umpire can assume responsibility for the runners. Then the plate umpire can turn and go back to the plate and get in the position. All right? Wear the proper uniform, make sure everything's cleaned. Pants are pressed and I would like to have a crease. John Calamari is going to stand up here and say, I don't care if you have a crease. I don't do college ball. Scott does college ball. I have a guy in Montgomery County who's doing college ball, asked to go look at, observe a Towson game. He's in the locker room with the umpires. The guy puts on his shoes, he puts on his pads, and then he pulls his pants up over them. He's struggling to get his pants up. And the guy said, why are you doing that? Guy says, I don't want my pants to be wrinkled in case I'm on a televised game. I don't want my pants to be wrinkled. That's how professional those guys are at the D1 level. We want you to look professional too. And there we go. It's clicking away on me, isn't it?
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Just to go back to, as you guys are all starting to progress and are working more and more games. I'm Scott, by the way.
Yep. Scott's one of our quality umpires, but he's
exactly
listen to him.
Referenced. Oh, well, I got third, and mechanics is huge, and Rick and I talk about this quite a bit too. Everybody in here is in here because they are willing to work USSSA softball. USSSA softball has a specific mechanic. It is not NCAA. Some comparisons, some not, for different reasons. So if you get out there with an official and they tell you, hey, in college we do this, so let's do this today, let your UIC know. Don't get combative.
Yeah.
Make it work. It's, as Joe said, it's an 80-minute game, 75-minute game. We're on those kids' clock. That's what's important. But when you get back to the umpire camp, just take the UIC to the side and mention that, hey, I'm trying to do this the right way. I'm a newer umpire, and I got this guy working with me. And the UICs know. UICs know when I come to their field that I'm doing that level of ball, but I'm not doing it on Saturday and Sunday. If I'm with Rick, we're doing USSSA ball and USSSA mechanics. So keep that in mind, because there are a lot of variations out there.
Our mechanics are Federation mechanics. So if you're doing high school ball and you learn Federation mechanics, you will be doing our mechanics, all right? And finally, use every opportunity to improve yourself. If you're doing a 10U C game, take that as an opportunity to improve yourself. Rick doesn't do it, but I count to 10 between every pitch and I count to 20 between every pitch. I usually give the batter till 12 or 13. I usually give the pitcher to 22, 23. But there's a rule that says the batter has to be ready in 10 seconds. The pitcher has to deliver the pitch in 20 seconds. All right? I taught myself to do that at 10 and under games. Personally, one of the proudest moments I got was I was doing a 10U C game over in Northern Virginia. This was the World Series about 10 years ago. And I finished up the day on a 10U C game, and I was on the plate. And as we walked to the car, my partner said to me, Joe, he said, you acted like that 10U C game was the most important game in the world to you. And it is, because it's the most important game in the world to those 10 and under girls, whether they're playing C ball or whether they're playing A ball. And so if you're doing 10 and under C, it's going to be a slower game. Take the opportunity. What mechanics do I want to work? What mechanics do I want to improve, all right? 2 umpire positions. Well, we want the plate guy behind the plate. And when I say guy in the vernacular of Pittsburgh, that means that's unisex, all right? So I'm not offending Ava or Riley or Sam, or Danny. So the plate umpire is going to be behind the plate. If there's nobody on base, the base umpire is going to start 15 to 18 feet behind first base in foul territory. You're in foul territory because if you get hit with a ball, it's a foul ball. If you get hit with the ball otherwise, depending on whether you're in front of or behind a fielder, it's either a live or a dead ball. You don't want to be in the field to play if you don't have to be, all right? If there's a runner on first base, you're going to be off the left shoulder of the second baseman, between first base and second base, a couple steps back.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, he's going to give you more details on that. One of the reasons you want to be there off of that left shoulder a couple steps back is if that second baseman's running to cover second base on a bunt, or she's running over to catch a foul ball behind first base because she has the priority on a pop-up behind the bases, you want to make sure you're out of her way, okay? You want to be invisible to the game. And I think there was a slide I passed. It must have jumped on me. Let me go back here. You're going to find some of our umpires are going to be on the right side of the second baseman. If you go to the mechanics manual, it says you're never there. But some of our guys feel like they're old and they're not going to keep up with the fast girls. And they will go to the right side of the second baseman when there's a runner on first base. I mean, if they feel like they can't catch the girl at second base, it is what it is. You're not going to get a good view of a pickoff play at first base if you're standing on the second base side of the second baseman, all right? If you got a runner on second or second and third, you're going to be in the C position. The C position technically is off of the right shoulder of the shortstop. If there's nobody on third and you want to stand on the left shoulder of the shortstop just in case there's a pickoff to second base, you can do that. All right. Again, you want to be back a couple steps so that if she's running to second to cover on a pickoff, or she's running across, you've cleared her path. I'm going to go back a couple slides because did I miss something here? Okay, there we go. Some fundamentals, set the tone. Okay. General principles. Be invisible to the game. Ava's been a player. Riley's playing. Sam's playing. Danny, did you play? Okay. When you guys play, did you ever stop and say, where's the umpire so I can make this play?
No.
Never. Because the umpire is invisible to the game. You never think about where the umpire is because you are invisible to that game, all right? We had 2 incidents last year, one with U-Trip and one with my group in Montgomery County. Guy was in the C position, which I just discussed, and there's a pop-up, and he keeps walking back and he's looking at it. And he collides with the right fielder, and she doesn't catch the ball and 2 runs score. The only time there's umpire interference is if you interfere with the catcher making a throw on a steal. Otherwise, that defensive coach has got a lot of griping he's going to do, but there's nothing he can do about it. I had the same thing in a playoff game in Montgomery County. The umpire started back. The wind shifted. The shortstop shifted. She collided with the umpire in the C position. She couldn't catch the pop-up. There's nothing you can do about that. So you want to make sure you're in the positions where you don't get involved in the game. Again, get the best angle. John Dye has said, if you watch a football game, look at all the different angles they look at to decide whether to overturn the play or not. If you can't get in a position to make a play close, get in the best angle you can get, all right? Make the calls with the force to sell them. Train yourself to hold your calls. What do I mean by hold your calls? Stop, replay it in your mind, then make the call. I will watch a professional baseball game. Sometimes I look at that base umpire and first I say, why isn't he calling the play? Then I realize he's replaying that bang, bang play in his mind to make sure he gets it right. If you can train yourself to hold the call and replay it, you will get more calls right and you will get less grief from the coaches. Now, where do you train yourself? You can't train yourself on a bang, bang play. When the girl's out by 3 steps, I train myself to hold the play there and then make the call. And it's like a muscle memory. You guys all had to create muscle memories, right? Your hitting position, your throwing stuff. You all had to do that muscle memory, right? Where you're creating that muscle memory in your mind to stop, replay it, then make the call. Go ahead, Scott.
You can help yourself too. Joe referenced early on about professionalism and the look on the field, not leaning against the fence, not looking engaged. When you're out there, and I know you've seen me do it in the college games that I've done. Get out there and check the timing. When the first base person is throwing the ball back and forth with the different infielders, track the throw. Boom, all the way over. Track the throw. It gets your eyes in position and ready to go. So that when that first play does happen, you've gotten out to your position, you're set, you're watching the play all the way from the throwing arm right to the fielder. just things that you can practice as you're going. It helps you to stay a little bit more engaged during the innings too, and they go a little bit quicker. But it gets your timing down too. Sorry.
And don't forget if you're on the bases, the first thing you do at the end of the half inning is you go up and clean that pitcher's plate, and clean those bases. You will work with guys who do not clean the bases, and you cannot tell where the base is out there. My routine is if I'm in C, I go over and I clean third base, I go clean the pitcher's plate, I go clean second base, then I go to first base, and when the warm-ups are done, I clean first base. If they need cleaned. Don't clean them if they don't need cleaned, because you're going to bend over 600-700 times. When I had my knees replaced, the physical therapist said to me, "God, your legs are strong." I said, "Well, yeah, if I umpire and I do 4 or 5 plate games in a weekend, I'm doing 800 to 1,000 squats. No wonder my legs are strong, you know? There's nobody I know doing that exercise at the club. In the field, you're going to face the ball. If the ball's hit in the infield, you're going to stay on the outfield side of the ball baseline. If the ball's hit on the outfield, and Rick's going to cover this, you're going to button hook in, and face the outfield so that you face the ball. My buddy Dan will tell me, I was doing my proper mechanics, I was running to second base. How that girl from left field was throwing home and hit me in the back of the head at second base, I have no idea. She rifled the shot right to my head at second base. I have no idea how she did that. And Joanne was the UIC, wherever she was. But just because you do your mechanics right, I was telling about the time I got hit in the head with the throw from right field to home that hit me in the head at second base. Baseball backup. All you guys have coached or played. That's the general rule, right? If somebody's watching the ball, you're watching the runner. Especially if you're on the base. If that girl hits a gorgeous shot to the outfield, you don't care what happens to that ball. You're watching the girl touch first, second, third, then you're releasing her to the plate umpire to watch her at home. Okay? Because what's going to happen? Coach is going to come out and say, "She missed second base. I'm appealing that she missed second base." And you're going to go, "I don't know, I was watching the hit." Ball base backup, all right? Somebody's watching the ball. If you're not watching the ball, you're watching the base. And if you don't have any of those responsibilities, you're backing up. Don't tell players what to do. That was the hardest thing I had transferring from coaching to umpiring. "It's over there, it's over there." I don't do it anymore. So, sorry I missed that slide. All right, so we went through the positions and why it's important to be off of the back and out of the side. Plate umpire is going to stand in the slot. Slot's either going to be between the catcher and the left side of the batter or the catcher and the right side of the batter. You're going to put your back toe and front heel on the same line. What that's going to do is that's going to bend you towards the plate so that you see the outside corner better. All right? And this just shows you a little more without the figure. What you're going to do is initially get in the slot, the outside heel and toe on the same line. You're going to set up in the strike zone. The way I set up on the strike zone is I put my eyes at the top of the strike zone. I put my nose on the edge of the plate. So if my eyes go up, I know I got a ball. If my eyes go to the side, I know I got a ball. You can set up however works for you. We recommend you move your eyes, not your head. Again, I go to my players when you were 8 years old and you were bouncing around. What did the coach say? Stand still, because you can't focus if you're bouncing around like that, all right? Move your eyes, not your head. Yes, sure.
Left-handed catcher is the same position?
Yep, you're always in that slot there between the batter and there's my left-handed catcher. There's my southpaw catcher. Regardless of how she throws, you're always in between the batter and the catcher. It doesn't matter, okay? Again, move your eyes, not your head. And the 5 S's from my buddy Joanne. See it, say it, signal it, stand, and step back. Huh! Why do I step back? Well, what? And not at the 10 and unders, but at the 16, 18 and unders, give the catcher her chance to set. And then you come forward and set up off of her. But you don't want to be standing up there and she wants to get inside and you're blocking her. You step back 2 steps, let her step, then you come up and get yourself reset. Between innings, where do you want to be? If you're the plate umpire, you want to be down the first base or third base line. You want to be facing the offensive dugout. Reason for that is you're on the side of the ball diamond where nobody's swinging a bat. You don't have to worry about getting hit in the head with a bat, okay? I worked with a guy from Kansas Gas and Electric 40 years ago, and he was playing old man slow pitch. He bent over to pick up a bat. The guy was warming up, hit him in the head and killed him. Okay, so you want to make sure you're on the defensive side of the ball diamond facing the offensive dugout, and this avoids you from having to worry about being hit by a bat. You don't want to be behind the catcher because that pitcher's pitching and you don't want to get hit. We had an umpire was flirting with the moms behind home plate, right behind the catcher, 16 and under. Pitch got away from the pitcher, catcher couldn't handle it, hit him in the head, cracked his skull. He has never umpired since. Okay, you do not want to be behind the catcher. If you're on the bases, you want to be on the outfield grass between the second baseman and the first base. Reason is, all the warm-up throws on the infield are going towards first base. All the warm-up throws across the outfield are going across the outfield. Even if they put a substitute in there to warm up the left fielder, you don't have to worry about being hit by a throw. That puts you in the safest positions that you can be. And with that, I will turn it over to my dear friend Rick, who will talk about the specifics and the details.